Hi everybody, it's Isabel here. I hope that you are doing well. I'm sorry it's been such a long time since I've really been on and posted a video of any sorts. I have recorded several over the last few months that I've just not been happy with or not got round to editing. I may take the opportunity to go back and have a look at them and see if they're worth posting. But in the meantime, I have a couple of ideas of videos I thought I might record today, and hopefully I can, share these with you. Um, well, if you're listening to this, I am sharing it. Um, Also, apologies, my brain's a bit fuzzy because I've got the edge of a migraine today, but hey, such is life. Um, okay, so right. This video, however, is me opening up 3 decks that have come in basically earlier in the year. They came in quite a while ago. I haven't had time or chance to open them and reflect on them really. So what I thought I'd do is, while I had a bit of peace and quiet this morning, and I've got no internet as well at this moment in time because the line's down by us, I thought I would open these decks. I think probably they're all very well known to you, so I won't necessarily do massive walkthroughs. I just wanted to have a look. So one of the decks I got in, which is absolutely totally well known by everybody, but this is the Oak, Ash and Thorn Mini. Now, am I going to have to zoom out? We'll have a look in a minute. So basically, yeah, most people know the Oak, Ash and Thorn decks by Three Trees Tarot and Smoke, Ash and Embers. I eventually got the 2 decks earlier in the year, came in not that long ago actually, and as always with these decks, they go to a lot of effort to make them beautifully packaged, to keep the communications great, and to send some gorgeous little freebies and goodies with them. And I really like that because it makes me feel, I don't know, it makes you feel good if you don't just get this deck on its own in a package. They've put the effort in and they're considering the purchasers. So along with the deck, when it came, we have a card here. I'm just check, you can see this has got a little dragon hiding here under what looks like a horse chestnut conker shell in the autumnal leaves. Isn't that beautiful? And actually this is advertising their new Oracle deck, which is going to be within the same world as their other decks, and they're working on it at the moment, and it's going to be called Thistledown. So that's definitely one I've got my eye on as a possible to back. I'm being very careful about what I do and don't buy, and really curating so that I'm not bringing in just loads for the sake of it. Although interestingly at the moment there's several decks I'm really interested in, which hasn't been the case the last year. I'm waffling again, sorry, it's one of those. Anyway, this is coming out, so if you are interested, this is the website, Three Trees Tarot. Steph does an update and a mailing list. Her comms are brilliant, and they always come beautiful. The card is lovely. For me, it's nice because all 3 of the decks I'm going to show you today are actually by British based artists, and that's something I've been keen, is to support people in my own country, because the cost, even though I've seen decks that I adore, independent decks from abroad, the cost of actually getting them into the UK now is really high in a lot of cases, and deck production as well is high. And I understand that because general costs have gone up, but if you're already paying 40 or 50 pounds for a deck and then adding postage on, and sometimes it can double the cost, I just haven't got that money. So it's really nice to bring my focus into British creators, which is what Phil and Jackie are. And obviously Steph, she lives in Scotland, although she is originally, her family are from, she's in America, I think. Anyway, oh, I do apologise. Please just fast forward. It's going to be one of those, I'm waffling a little bit. So anyway, here's the gorgeous little dragon, and I really love that. I might actually put that up. I've got a couple of things I want to put by my desk here. So it comes with a lovely little card. I'm not sure which way up. I'm not sure which way up to put this. This is a lovely little kind of postcardy card, little art card with a squirrel all curled up in his shells. I think, is that the 8 of Pentacles card? I don't know the deck brilliantly well because I've not, I think it must be like that, surely. I don't know. Which way up would you like it, folks? Anyway, we'll have a look when we look at the cards. I'm going to hold it like that for now so you can see the squirrel. Isn't it gorgeous? I was watching, we have a program in this country called Winter Watch, and well, they do winter watch, spring watch, autumn watch. They basically they look at the wildlife for a couple of weeks. They have live shows and they look at wildlife, and they were talking about red and grey squirrels, and they were showing a red squirrel eating a nut and its little nose was tickling. Oh, sorry, I'm off again. So a little, you know, note about the cards and the deck. Another little thank you card. Again, there's all the information about Three Trees Tarot. And then some little goodies alongside. So there's a little magnet here with the squirrel on. Beautiful card. And these are made on wood with a little magnet on the back. I have actually got some from the other decks that I ordered as well, so I really need to find a space to put these properly. But I store them carefully at the moment. I love this. Look at this mouse on the bookmark. So that's like a wooden bookmark. Isn't that beautiful? With the bee. The detail in these is so amazing. The artistry. I just love how natural it is as well. So there's a lovely, that's a lovely bookmark. And then in here, there were some stickers basically. And again, stickers from the cards. And the little thing that tells me which number I've got. So this was Authenticity, volume 3, because it's the small one, May 2022. So that's really cool. So everything is just so beautifully done. And then the deck itself, so wrapped in their traditional paper with the hairs on, just a bit of rustling, and as always in the gorgeous, beautiful tuck box. The tuck boxes, although tuck boxes, they have this extra line here which makes them a little bit easier to manage. They're always little chunky monkeys because they're beautiful cards. Carbon neutral, solar power, vegetable inks. And in fact, the copyright's for 2023, interestingly. I think, if I remember rightly, they actually managed to post them a lot earlier than they were expecting. So if I remember, they weren't due in until for a few weeks, even now. I wish more creators, even mass market, would do this. So, you know, putting a wrap around the card, this is a paper wrap. It's obviously sustainable type or recycled. You know, I don't know about other people, but so many cards still come, even particularly mass market, and you can understand it. You can understand the whole box being wrapped in cellophane for protection, but you know, sometimes you go in and the cards are wrapped in multiple layers of cellophane. But this is a lovely, you know, to have this band in paper. Apologies, I'm waffling again. It's one of those days, isn't it? Please do just ignore me. I should do these live, shouldn't I? And then I could actually talk to you. So here we go. So the size of the deck. Let me just pull out. I have here. Yeah. So this is actually a card from the Smoke. Whoops, sorry, I knocked the camera. This is a blank card that came with Smoke, Ash and Embers. So this shows you kind of the size comparison quite nicely. So how small it is in comparison to the original cards. I think, yeah. So this is a low Scarabeo. So the original cards are a little bit wider than a low Scarabeo. This is from Total Tarot magazine. So there you go. That gives you quite a nice comparator for size. It's a really nice size actually. In fact, it's probably very similar to the, just have a look actually. I've got my Smoke. I tell you what I've got here, just to give another comparator. I've got my Sun and Moon Tin Tarot here. Yeah, so it's actually fractionally bigger. So that's the Sun and Moon Tin Tarot on the black. So that one. So it's a little bit bigger, but not much. Oh, okay. So obviously the same kind of card back with the beautiful animals and oak. That's just a playing card again. Then let's have a look at what we've got. So as I say, I'm not going to spend a long time on the cards here. Again, they do these beautiful cards. I love these. So these are just sort of quick reference with beautiful words. And the fact that they, because I've got both of the other decks, they make an effort to make them relevant to the deck, which I think is really nice. So they're double-sided, and it means as well that for me, as a not very experienced reader who hasn't been doing this for years, if I take this deck, I don't need to be taking loads of books and resources with me somewhere. And one of the reasons I got this deck is because I wanted to work with it last year when we went on holiday, and I didn't want to take the big deck with me on holiday, but I can take this. It's much smaller, more compact. I can potentially put it in a bag to make it safer than the cardboard, and it'd be a lot easier to manage. That is the extra card. It's the same as the original, I think, Possibilities, and it showed the new element of the dragons coming in and a hint at the new deck. If I just turn it over, again, we've got another blank card protecting it, another thank you card, and then we get into the cards themselves. I think my understanding is that one or two of the cards have changed from the original, perhaps in the word. Let me just see if I can... so yeah, so a lot of the cards are very similar. The gorgeous fawn. I believe that there are one or two cards that are different. So I'm just gonna flick. Oh, I love these cards. The lovers, look at that. You know what? I've not actually spent a lot of time even with my original decks, and I'll reflect on that in... I'm going to reflect on that in my sort of 2022 reflections video that I'm going to make in a bit. But, you know, coming back, I think this is one of those lovely decks as well that I've come back to, having used it a little bit earlier in the year, and it's fresh and new to me, which I think is really exciting. So this is one of the cards I believe they've changed, and I think it might even be the only one. So instead of the Hanged Man, they've got the Hanged Mouse now, and I think in the original deck it was Hanged Man. Yeah, and really, I mean, these are all the same as the original pretty much. If people wanted a full walkthrough of the deck or of these cards, then, you know, I'm more than welcome to do one. More than happy to do one. But I'm also aware that there are a lot of people who've got them and have perhaps done a walkthrough. Oh, I love this deck, and this size is gorgeous. Look, so what I love is this tucks into my hand, so I can take this somewhere. I can go and sit in a coffee shop. Whoa, the sun's just come in. The light's changed. I apologise. The sun's just shining through the conservatory. I can go and sit in a coffee shop surreptitiously, quietly, and look at the pictures and see what's in them. And the snail and the gorgeous red squirrel. So yeah, so beautiful, beautiful deck. Beautifully presented. I'm going to get my teeth into that one at some point. I'm going to have another look at it later. I think it is chunky, as I say, but they're beautifully produced. They go nicely in the box. They are a bit tight because they have these extra cards, so you can choose to take those out to make it easier. So that's the Oak, Ash and Thorn mini that's taken forever because I waffle and whiffle and whatever. What else have I got to share with you? Well, another deck that I decided to back. This is the Crystal Forests by Jess Purser. So again, British based. This is a deck I'd seen a long time ago and I'd kind of dismissed a little bit, but I did follow her online, and then she was basically reproducing the deck from her original. So she did a deck in 2019 called The Wisdom of the Forest, which I don't have because it's very white. She used that then to start making this deck, and basically what you've got is a series of beautiful watercolor paintings where the colors and the painting is impacted by a crystal. So it basically is a tree and crystal. So for example here, this is the blue apatite forest, this guidebook with it, which is a color painting with kind of what it does. And I think I really have been sort of feeling that need to kind of bond with nature and ground in nature a lot this year, and I'm not normally a big fan of crystal decks. I prefer an actual crystal. I have quite a few crystals. not as many as some people, but I have some that are special to me. But this felt like when I needed a hint of, you know, forest and tree and bonding, and I could kind of use it with a deck, or sorry, with a in pulling cards, or I could to sort of almost ground myself before I do a reading, or just if I felt like. So I'm not sure exactly, you know, where I'm going to use it and how. It may well fit in. I don't see it necessarily as being almost a daily pull in the same sense as perhaps another oracle deck. But anyway, so Jess does this. She has an Etsy site, Instagram, Facebook. It's all beautifully done. It came with a lovely thank you card. She did have some extra goals, so she was doing some bookmarks. I think it was a Kickstarter campaign, this one. I didn't go for a big amount of stuff. You could get pictures and watercolours, and you could get crystal necklaces. I went for one of the basic levels, but I did... One of the things was a bookmark. She had some trouble with the printing company who were sending these to her. So this is slightly different to what I was expecting, but it's still beautiful. So it's got different colours. I don't know if you... Yeah, you can you see the shiny? So it's really pretty. I'm a big fan of bookmarks as well. So I shall find it just a little bit bigger than her guidebook, but I might use that there. So yeah, so this is the Crystal Forest. It's got this gorgeous wax seal that she's done. She must have painted that, because isn't that pretty? Wrapped in tissue paper. Again, everything she sent. Here you've got your washi tape. Again, beautifully packaged. It was all in cardboard, with sort of not sustainable, with recycled wrapping. There was no plastics. There was no no, I'm gonna have to rip it, folks. There was no sort of extra plastic and stuff. So again, that kind of thoughtfulness. And here's the deck. So this is, oh, this box is lovely. It's like a linen-y feel. So the Crystal Forest, an intuitive card deck, 2nd edition. Card deck to support and nurture personal growth using inspiration from the bright, vibrant forests on the earth and the treasures found within. So a hard box, which is nice, a hard 2-part box. No thumb holes, but actually it comes open very easily. And then you have the cards. I can't remember how many cards are in the deck. This is the back. This is slightly gold. It's not gilded, I don't know. It's a good substantial deck. It's kind of nice size. Let's have a look just to compare. Obviously it's a sort of oracle size, but if you put it next to it, so it's about the same height as a fairly standard tarot card. It's just wider, so that's quite nice. It's not too wide in my hand, so that's good. And then you have the cards. All of these are really beautiful, lots of different colours. I don't know if people want me to... Let's just have a look and see. So let's see what we've got. So Almondine Garnet. So what she's done is a very subtle crystal name and a keyword here, and each of these is watercoloured. I think my concern is that the light this morning is such that you're not going to pick up the colours. I think what I'm going to do is I will do a separate flip through if anyone's interested of these decks. But yeah, she says, turning the cards, amethyst. I don't know if Shireen. You can always play Bless the Crystal. You know, I can go, which crystal do you think? Black tourmaline for protection. Bloodstone, look at that one. If I remember rightly, as backers, we got to choose a couple of extra crystals that she was going to put cards in. This one's almost got like a sheen to it. Cards of a good standard, you can hear that, a good standard stock. Fairly matte actually, but this is in gold print. Yeah, I think you're probably going to appreciate a proper walkthrough in decent light. So what I'm not going to do now is I'm not going to go through all the cards, but this is really nice. I really like this. I'm already like, yeah, I think you could be a real grounding, because you can pick a card. So there's Moonstone and Intuition, and then you could use that as a starting point for a reading, for how you're feeling. So yeah, so that's the Crystal Forest. I will if people are interested, I will do like a flip through maybe. I'm going to leave it for now because the light, I've got the sun shining in from here, which is really nice, but it means that the lighting here isn't fantastic, so I'll have to set it up better for a flip through. So that's the Crystal Forest, as I say. Really nice guidebook. It's just in alphabetical order. There's no kind of extra stuff. I think it's actually quite nice because it's simple. So I quite like the fact that it is just a simple book. The only downside I'd say is that it doesn't fit in the box. So if I wanted to use it out and about, I have to take both with me, which sometimes I find a bit frustrating. So I suppose that's slightly my only criticism. But the crystals do have their own keyword on, and if you knew the crystals quite well, you probably, or you could look up the crystal association. So actually you almost don't necessarily need the book because you could work with it without. So that's the Crystal Forest by Jess Purser, which is another one. And then the other one I got in, this was months ago to be perfectly honest. This is the Life Design Cards by Lisa McLaughlin. Again, British based. She's done a few decks that are on, yes, you can get them on Etsy. She's done Life Design, a plant one and a tree one and a couple of other things. Oh, sorry, I'm out of shot. And basically these are sort of, well, yeah, Life Design cards. So she also did this. You got this card that you could have. You could choose a card. So she basically was giving to pre-order or Kickstarter backers. You got to choose an extra card and what you wanted written on it. So I went for family on mine. Again, nicely packaged, gorgeous owl sticker here. I think that this, if I remember rightly, it was a Kickstarter, and as before, I didn't go. She had gorgeous pouches she was making, and she had all this extra stuff. But at the time, I made the decision to just invest in the deck. I didn't want to spend a lot extra. So, Life Design cards. So these are cards that she produced a little while ago in 2017. And basically she decided to redo this deck, and she's redone some of the wording. She's changed a few of them, so it's a bit of a personal development. It talks here: personal development companion, oracle or structured tool, tapping to wisdom, support and guidance. So there's 50 cards, and they look a little bit at seasons, permaculture, astrology signs, personal development prompts. So it's a little bit different. It's kind of a bit more personal development. This gorgeous owl is sort of on her thank you card as well, as you can see there. The box is 2 pieces. It's a little bit loose actually, but that's okay. Oh, and in the box here, I'm going to sneeze. Fantastic. So, oh, look at this. Okay, so let's get these out. So yeah, a nice rigid 2-piece box. Oh, these feel lovely. Very smooth. So let's put the deck to one side for a minute. So in the box, I've got these gorgeous stickers. Now, this is it. So one of the reasons I was drawn to this deck is the card that matches this here. Discover simplicity through the senses. So as it happens, I play the cello, well-ish, I suppose, and I play in orchestra, and music is something really important to me, and the fact that this deck has a cellist in it sort of drew me to it and meant it was for me. I also remember Highland Cows from Family Holidays when I was younger, which is again important to me. So here's some gorgeous stickers. There's like 6 gorgeous stickers there. I have to choose what I do with them carefully, but look at those. There's this kind of sense as well of weaving kind of stuff. Here is the chosen card. So actually what I've got is, this is the extra card where we could choose what we wanted written on it. And then this is a print of that card, which is really nice. And then you've got the guidebook. So as I say, there is an original version of this, but this one has slightly different wording in it's an updated, edited version of the original cards. The illustrations are mostly the same, but the text is edited in the first 24 cards. So basically, you've got 12 cards that look at coaching, 12 act as lens to subject, 12, another 12 astrological. So I need to understand it a little bit more, but basically they sort of blocked and grouped ideas for how to use the deck, and actually this is sort of the guidebook. Rather than focusing on a meaning, it's kind of helping you think about how you can use the cards, to ideas of ways of actually reading with them. So that's really cool. Lots of different suggestions there. That's really cool. Ideas, use it in a different way. And this is an expression of the meaning of each card. So these are really just simple. So for example here, frame a vision, which relates to spring. Allow yourself to imagine an outcome. Ignite your hopes by setting an intention. Explore your ideal, your wildest dreams, and create a positive feeling of being alive. So there's lots of different ways you could probably use these cards. And each one's, as I say, they're all grouped into the 12. So there you go. So like start something, meander. Let's have a look. Autumn, enjoy a mindful photography walk. So there's just little ideas. So it's not, you know, it's I say it's Lisa McLaughlin Art Life Design cards, and she does have a couple of other decks as well. And then so that's the extra card. Now that has this green back, and in fact, yeah. So that was the other thing as well. The backs are different, so you've got different backs. If I remember rightly, they have different associations. So I think, is it that those are spring, summer and autumn, perhaps seasonal? Possibly. Let's have a look and see. So the backs are the same pattern but with different colours. There's great this border. They're quite a nice card. They're a little bit, they're totally borderless, and yeah. So then you've got, again, I think with this one, my gut instinct is that I'm going to need to read a little bit about it to then be able to explain. But what's interesting as well is that the colour palettes are similar. So you've got cards, you can see the blocks of colours that obviously are in the same realm. But I just loved the concept. So like the things she put here in relation to, so this is a worm, look, create no waste, you know, patterns and details. This is some beautiful, beautiful cards with just like concept. I just love the kind of relationship between the pictures that she's drawn and the words and the messages on the cards. So they're really, really beautiful. I am loving these. Oh, she says dropping them everywhere. I'm really loving them. But again, I think a decent walkthrough with an understanding of the cards might be better. But these are the Life Design cards, so they're really lovely. So I think I've got some work to do, haven't I? So those are 3 decks that I've had in that I've not opened up till now. They are so beautiful. I will consider, I think I'm not prepared to do a walkthrough certainly of this deck until I've really understood it, because otherwise I'm just showing you pictures and not explaining. And I think with the others, I think there are walkthroughs out there, but if you do want me to do them myself, I'm more than happy to do that. Well, take care of yourselves. Apologies, this ends up far longer than I wanted it to be, but hopefully you enjoyed spending a bit of time with me, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.